One India News. Today on the show, we are going to discuss about women and entrepreneurship with a very special guest. But before that, a short introduction. Now, India is the world's sixth largest economy, and its growth is set to get faster. Its progress is set to go much further. Now, if that progress is driven by women, then not only does the economy progress, but the society develops as a whole. On the show today, I have Tripti Somani, who is leading the Womennovator initiative. And she helps women run businesses flourish so that the nation can flourish. So, very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Deepavali. It's such a great pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you, ma'am. So, I want to start this by asking you something. You know, the traditional role of women in our societies is that they are expected to run households. And I would argue, I don't know if you would agree with me, is that running a household is similar to running a business. There's a lot of planning involved. There are so many finances involved. There's people management involved. So what holds back women from actually entering the formal business space, launching an enterprise? And how does Womennovator help them?
So, Deepavali, I think it's a very, very well correlated concept you just referred to. But of course, there are plus which we get because of being multitasking. So I sometimes we have seen most of the interview talking about because women are multitaskers and they can manage anything, and of course office. I think and we are definitely managing a lot of things, and that gives us a plus point that in one go we can do three more things. That's how we are built. But multitasking, it's not today in today's world is not a boon. It's not something which you can treat as something which it it shows us as a superwoman, but that makes us weak also. That makes us get tired very easily, and that also makes us very divert. Not able to focus on one thing,
Yeah.
and that's a problem. And so I think there is no doubt that a woman who's doing so much at house can manage a very well manage a business, but it has to be we all our women have to understand that with this comes a professionalism, and of course a lot of control on your on the way you speaking. Articulation plays a very important role when you're going in a business world. So with this, if we can stitch these three together, is the combination of articulation of what you're saying with a multi skills, which we can manage multi level things together. I think, and also direction and focus. Instead of having thousand, I when I started, I remember I was more like how many people we're meeting, contacts on our phone list, networking. But at the last today, Womennovator Global Summit, where we are honoring 1,000 people, which is men and women both, because we went to small towns and cities and sectors, and we heard the stories of more than 3,000 women, which are available on our WE Pitch YouTube channels. I mean, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to do that, but we are able to do because we know that our focus is not to highlight the accomplished, but to bring in new people, bring in new focus. We want to make more of Tripti, we want to make more of Deepavali, and we want to make more of Indranui. So how do? We go to the ground level, hear those people, and then showcase them. So I hope I could answer your question.
Yes, you did. But I understand the process is more complicated than that. Could you take us through how you launched this initiative, what inspired you to do it, and how do you get women members on board?
So yes, I think 1 year we spent shortlisting our leaders. We call them influencer. These influencers are people who feel that they can do three things. One, they can ensure that they get from their local audience recognized faces who can be the jury, who can be the mentors for that particular sector or city. And then they have to ensure at least 30 to 50 women coming and participating in a competition called WE Pitch competition. It was an easy journey. A lot of our leaders who joined could just do the jury part, bring in 6 people who will judge. But then a lot of people, a lot of our leaders could conclude by doing a competition, listening to more than 30 or 100 women for that reason, and select 6, which is 3 entrepreneurs, 1 social activist, 1 leader or an employee with a company or a professional leader, and 1 was public choice, because every woman who came and speak, we got a YouTube video made. We got them uploaded on YouTube, and they were like, in every competition, whoever got the maximum like was supposed to be announced for that competition as a public choice. Now, whoever finished that competition are right now in 1,000 women faces, which include men and women, like I said. And we call our leaders who concluded this whole process, which wasn't easy, as verified influencers. And they're very different from the Facebook or Instagram influencer, just because they are verified, like we have Amazon verified, Prime and all. We thought, why not to authenticate our leaders who are working genuinely to uplift other women? And this process almost took us 1 year to shortlist our leaders. And then another 1 year to go and do those competitions, listen to those women. And the judging and everything is on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. They're available, who spoke, who was judged, and everything is electronic and automized, wherein the jury rated online and the total came on the dashboard, and it was finally announced. And it was crazy time for our team, for sure.
Yeah, that's understandable. It sounds tedious, but it's also very exciting. So, ma'am, during this journey, are there any stories that stood out for you, that inspired you, that you would like to share with us?
I think that I would love to share one thing with you, that there were stories which really inspired us, but could have not made to the final list as winner, because they were very inspiring and they were already over the media. So there is a possibility, the stories which really inspired, I remember I went to Aligarh and there was one lady who was burnt 80%. She was completely burnt in an accident, and she does the cleaning of the house at a household. Now, she then, because she has 3 kids, she was supposed to, take care of them. So she started masala business. So she was cleaning the house of that lady who brought her, the one of our leader brought her, and she used to clean her house, and she used to in evening go distribute the masala on a cycle. And she started that, and she's earning a good amount with that business too. Now, that was one very inspiring story. Then I remember going to Nasik, and this lady is Priya. I'm sorry, I don't remember everyone's name, but this one of the story out of 800 women who attended that day was Priya Salve, I believe, and she is making pottery instrument. So, and they are international quality. She's making from a small factory shed at her house. मतलब उसका छोटा सा एक घर है, उसके आगे उसने फैक्ट्री शेड डाला हुआ है. And वहाँ पे, so when we went in Nasik, we have Ram Mohan Mishra ji, who's ex-development commissioner, Ministry of MSME, and also a secretary of Ministry of Women and Child. We went with him to her factory, and she wanted loan to meet the orders. And she was then given 1 lakh rupees as a loan from the government to support, to actually get her procurements done, raw material procurement, so that she can meet the order. Now, these are the 2 definitely I remember on face that I was touched upon, that a lady in Nasik who doesn't speak English, who doesn't speak Hindi, is able to make a product which is of international quality, and her pricing are 1/5 of the price which international market players are right now selling at.
Wow.
And I can go on with the stories. There are 3,000 stories we have heard by now, so I'm sure there are many more to go. And yeah,
I can imagine. So, it was wonderful to hear that. And of course, there are so many more. We'll keep that perhaps for another time. So my last question to you, ma'am, would be, what are your next goals?
I think our vision is very, very clear that we want to do anything which contribute to the real GDP growth by women. Today, all women are working, whether household, whether in business. But in case of our Adi Abadi, which is 50% women, how do I make sure that our country 5 trillion mission is achieved? That's only possible with my limited resources. That is, my women who are household homemakers right now, or they start contributing at least 2 hours to the business, or maybe create some innovative ideas. And that's why Womennovator, whether it's making pumpkin cake and selling them. I have one woman who made a pumpkin cake and that was amazing. Couldn't imagine a pumpkin cake. That's called innovation at home also. So how do we ensure that every woman is able to contribute to the real GDP growth, which is only possible if all of us are working at least 2 hours, even if we are homemakers, to and earn a little. And secondly, we want to create a fund which can not, we're not talking about a fund which spends on right now spoken about startups which are scalable, but there are so many women who are making artisan work, handicrafts, papad, chart. They also need. Today we are eating that, right? Yes. It's not that startup ecosystem, you don't need all this stuff, artifacts and everything is there. We need it. So there is a amount required. Our women don't have security collateral, so they need loans. So we have tied up with NBFCs to get them loan. We are working on a fund which can spend money or put money in non-traditional businesses too. I would just conclude by saying that one very important thing which we have done in last 1.5 years, which was sponsored by DS Group, was incubation. We are more like a virtual incubation for women, wherein 10 weeks program was built and our women, 113 women got incubated out of the winner list who went through 10 weeks program. Every time, every Saturday, they were sitting with us for 2 hours, 3 hours, going through our program, structured program. And we made their 60 women's promotional video. You can see in the Womennovator Global Summits getting played. We got their website done. We got their social media strategy planned, listed down on a document and asked them to do it accordingly. We got their newsletter where all these 113 women are listed. We have an impact report. We have got their marketing strategy. We got them introduced to different people like airport authorities and related railways and all where they can sell. We got them introduced to MSME government scheme, GEM portal, which is very, very important. And the most important thing I want, if through this the Pali can reach, is the 3% procurement policy by the government, which Piyush Goyalji, when we were discussing with Piyush Goyalji on day 2, is that every ministry and every government organization has to buy from women-owned business, which is 3% of total procurement. One PSU, it could be amounting to 10 or 50 crores of amount to be procured from women, and we don't know about it. So I think this is a great platform to highlight the scheme. And second, which Piyush Goyalji said, was the exemption for women in trademark. So if you're getting a trademark, IPR, I think Ministry of Commerce has worked on exemption wherein you don't have to pay 80% of the cost.
Right, right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for detailing all of that out for us. And I really wish you luck on your journey ahead. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dipali. Thank you so much.